You have a brand, I'm opening up an opportunity for you to get your brand in front of millions of people. That's right. If you want to find out how, email me right now, advertise at hiphopun.com. Get your brand right before each video that we do. Literally put your brand in front of millions of people per month. The email's advertise at hiphopun.com. Do not waste slots, fill fast. Content. So let's jump into it, man. I'm gonna get the people to run down, and we're gonna jump right into the first story, of the day. Dave Portnoy. Well, first and foremost, man, it's been this controversy, with the LSU and the Iowa, basketball teams. With one of the young ladies, Angela Angel Reese, made a hand gesture after winning the national championship. The girl, I forget the other girl's name. You probably know her name.
Caitlin Clark.
The Kayla Clark, right? She did the gesture first. Angela did it afterwards. Angela, whatever. I don't know what her name. Yeah, Angel. Okay, Angel Reese. Did it first, did it second, and it's a big backlash. Well, Dave Portnoy, who is the owner, operator of Barstool Sports, has something very nasty to say, about her. Let's see what they said real quick, and then we're going to get to what he said. Then we're going to have some fun and talk about this with you guys real quick. So here we go.
Shout out to Angela Reese. Y'all did a great thing. Y'all did y'all thing. Congratulations for being the champions. And I'm going to say this. We don't stand with nothing that Dave Portnoy said in any type, shape, forms, or fashion. We're not in agreement with that. We're not in alignment with that in any way. And number two, $1 million worth of game, LLC, is owned by two people. Wallace Peoples and Fernard Rasier. We do not work for Barstool. We have a partnership. We have a licensing deal. 100% ownership is by us. We don't have no bosses. I only got one boss, and that's God. And my wife, whenever that happens, whenever I get married. But other than that, that's how we rock.
Can you be your boss?
Yeah, you know how that shit. That's how that shit go, cuz. That's how it go. People like Tootie got the control of the money.
Oh, okay.
Well, shut up. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, shout out to Angela Reese. You did a great job, young sister. And we're not just gonna stand for that. Like Dave, for her to be a classless piece of shit because of basketball, you're wrong about that shit.
And we love you, Dave.
We fuck with you, Dave.
But we fuck with you the long way.
You're totally out of pocket for that. You're wrong for that. For a human being to be a classless piece of shit for sports where it's nothing but trash talking and talk, we're not doing that. We're not gonna do that shit. And we're not gonna let you do that to ours. We can't go for that shit. We're not gonna be having that. But shout out to Angela Reese, you did your thing. Shout out to everybody that was involved, all you women, played the ball and had a hell of a time. But we need to be talking about something different.
Shout out to Iowa too. They came up and played hard.
Yeah, they played hard. But shout out to the whole LSU. Y'all did a great job. Congratulations, Queens, on your championship. And it's just like that.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that, man? That was pretty. You got to watch it. That's why we had to put it up on the screen for you guys to actually see facial expressions and things like that. I agree with the premise of the message. Obviously not standing for it. But what do you think about that, Sam? Man? What's your thoughts?
I've been watching it closely. I watched the game. Very entertaining. Stole the show. Stole between the men's final and the women's final. The women's final crushed them. It wasn't even close. 9.9 million people watched that game for the storyline, for the rivalry, for Caitlin Clark out there shooting the lights out of fucking Iowa,
right,
and beating South Carolina in the Final Four and getting to the national championship. And then you got them sisters out in LSU doing their thing with their ferocious defense and their all-around good game. And you sit back and go, okay, it's going to be a good game. People watched it. So for Homeboy to be able to call that young lady a classist piece of shit freely on Twitter, but to have an issue at the same time with her giving the "you can't see me" and throwing a ring on her finger to one of the biggest trash talkers in women's national or NCAA basketball in Caitlin Clark, biggest trash talkers. It's like, hold on, what's the hypocrisy in that? Your white man ass could sit back and do that to that young lady, but at the same time, she can't show emotion in one of the highest competitive moments in her life. That's corny, but that's the sentiment of a lot of these arrogant ass white dudes out here to make sure, or to that, and to where they feel free, to get on Twitter or get behind these cell phones and go ahead and type whatever ignorant shit they want. Let me get to Gillie and Wallo.
Right.
I agree with what Wallo said. I want to say Wallo for the most part because Gillie pretty much sat back and let Wallo do his thing. Listening to it again, I kind of feel like maybe it was something they feel like they had to do. I don't know if it's something they feel like it was all the way genuine. I'm just gonna call it a spade, even though I feel like Wallo meant what he said.
Yeah.
He didn't even know the young lady's name all the way like that. And I know they was talking fast. You could forget people's names. I'm not saying all that, but just certain language and certain ways and certain words that he used that made you just feel like, okay, this is what the culture needed to see from the culture and all that shit.
Yeah,
But
because it's not the first time that Dave Portnoy, made a disparaging comment. I mean, if you can go back and look at the history, he said things before to kind of rub people the wrong way, and it was silent. And people called him out, about it at that point in time. But I agree with everything you said in the beginning, man. As far as the her with the gestures back, that's just sports. But it seems like though, from my observation of sports, if they kind of don't want us celebrating. You know what I mean? To a certain extent like that. Like even in the NFL, like different rules and stuff, they kind of, and I could be wrong, but I know I'm right with this one. They kind of want you to shut up and just play ball.
yeah,
Like be the consummate professional. Don't celebrate. Don't get too this. Don't get too outspoken about anything. Just shut up and play ball, nigga. That's how I kind of see it in this situation. And you got these guys, man, that are sitting up here, classless piece of shit. Really? It goes to show you that like as much progress as we think we made in this country, there's still a lot of ignorant people out there. Now, as far as Gillie and Wallo, let's talk about that. Because a lot of people are saying in the comments, and I saw they had one video where it was just on Gillie, but you heard Wallo talking, and you can see his facial expression, and people were saying, man, he like, nigga, don't you better not F up my money, man. That's what it looked like. Got to be real on a podcast. You know what I mean? And I don't know how much of it is for, like you said, it's got to be done at this point. Like something like if you stay silent on that, it's PR. It's probably a publicist. Y'all got to come. Y'all got to say something. I'm glad to know that they got a partnership deal, licensing deal. That's dope. Yeah, that's very interesting moving forward. Even with business that we got going, a lot of different companies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's one thing to say it, it's one thing to mean it. But hey, it was said. So I think anything's going to happen to Gillie and Wallo for that. Hell no. But it's interesting to see. I saw people putting in the comments. They was like, it's pretty much nullified the fact, them trying to be stern against this dude when you say I love you. We got love for you.
right.
People were saying that kind of nullifies the fact that they're saying what they're saying. Do you agree with that?
I don't want to get too. No, I don't.
Right.
I don't. I don't agree with that all the way. And I think Wallo was genuine in what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? I think that if he wasn't on Barstools, whether he was or he wasn't, I think that would be dude's general feelings. And I've never met him just based off of what we've seen on social media throughout these couple of years.
Right.
I think he would. But no, I think you can have love for somebody and check them at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you get a nice hefty check from Barstools, the way them brothers probably are, not to, pocket watch anything like that, but
it don't make no sense to really go against the grain.
Why would you do that?
Right.
All the way. So, like you said, maybe a publicist got in their ear, like, listen, you guys are one of the tops in the game right now. You guys obviously are connected to Barstools. It might be in y'all best interest to say something. Wallo said, I got this. And Gillie said, no, we love you though. But
could they have reached out to him directly? Maybe said it?
Yeah. But it makes more sense from a publicity standpoint.
What about apologies from him?
He ain't doing that shit.
Exactly.
He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it.
Right.
He was arguing the point 5 minutes after Gillie and Wallo did that. He was on. Wow. And I don't know if he saw what Gillie and Wallo said, but he was re-arguing his point on why she was a classless piece of shit, arguing why he said it about that child. A child.
Yeah.
That just won a national championship that's been called ghetto all year, that's been called hood all year. You've been throwing shit at this young lady for months on end. Dealt with what she dealt with in Maryland. Went to Maryland. She's from Baltimore. Got a full ride. Hurt herself. Went to LSU. This girl's been through a lot. And for this Caitlin Clark, one of the baddest players, everybody's talking about her, for them to just beat her, and she goes like this and says this, and y'all call her a classist piece of shit.
My question is, how come they're not Caitlin Clark? How come they're not calling her a classist piece of shit?
Nope.
See, I think it goes a lot deeper than what the surface says with some of these guys.
It's unfortunate, but that's a fact.
Yeah, I think it goes a lot deeper. And, that's a whole nother subject for another day.
Yeah.
We cover those topics, or we bring people on to cover those topics. But matter of fact, I know it goes deeper than that, because it's like, it's going to come out. They say, well, it don't come out in the winter, it's going to come out in the wash or whatever. So it's going to come out, man, people's true intentions. But hey, they cutting the check to people and stuff like that and all that. Hey, at the end of the day, that don't mean shit.
Nope.
You could have a boss that's paying you $100,000, $200,000 a year. He might think you a piece of shit.
Yep.
As we just seen. So, that's all I kind of got to say on that joint, man.
Yeah, me too. And salute to the LSU Lady Tigers for doing y'all thing.
Sure.
Salute for Caitlin Clark for making a name for yourself. Hopefully, them young ladies can find themselves in the WNBA, putting that on the map with a dope rivalry because I think it's good for the sport that needs it.
Right.
So let's talk about the sport as opposed to the bullshit.
Right.